Looks like you lost another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling Revival Podcast. I am your humble host, Cyb3rYeti, and over here to the other side of me, Mr. DJ Notorious, Mr. feeling a little more petty than usual, Mr. He decides to choose violence tonight.
Absolutely.
No surprise at all. No surprise at all. Really quick before we jump into it, and I let DJ, bump his gums for about 45 minutes. I want to give a big old shout out to ultisupplements.com. When you go over there, make sure you pick yourself up a shaker, pick yourself up a flavor, and when you do that, when you go to checkout, make sure you use the discount code Revival Army for 10% off your order. So Ulti, thank you so much for sticking with us again for another season. We do appreciate it. So make sure you go over there, pick yourself something up nice, and let them know that the Wrestling Revival sent you. So again, thank you so much for sticking around with us. All right, DJ. So I'm gonna let you kind of take lead on this because apparently you're feeling some type of way right now.
Sometimes when you're going through things or whatever, or you just see how the week is going, sometimes you just gotta choose violence. So I definitely push that red button right there, and that's what it's going to be tonight. But of course, we're going to be talking WrestleDream. Yes, it was all a dream. Word to Biggie Smalls, but we're going to be talking about what's going on this weekend with AEW down in Tacoma, Washington, at the Tacoma Dome this weekend. Is somebody debuting this weekend in AEW? I mean, you should.
It's the worst kept secret. Kept secret.
We've said it for a while, but we'll let y'all know about that a little bit later in our preview and predictions. And then we're going to be talking about maybe, just maybe, a Monday Night Raw on PLE levels later on in the show. It's getting close to that time. We're going to let you know about that. But first and foremost, make sure you're following us on social media. The Wrestling Revival Podcast on IG, TikTok, TWRP_official_ and X, which is also TWRP_official. Make sure you follow us on all social media because in a couple of weeks, there's going to be a major announcement regarding following all of our social media. It's the most wonderful time. You get the picture. So definitely make sure you're checking out all three.
Most definitely. And also to people, if y'all don't want him to sing again, just make sure y'all, use our discount code, and then, we might take some donations, stand over there like they do in front of the stores with the little red bucket and the bell, saying, please donate. So DJ shut his ass up. Please donate. Please donate.
I'm glad you actually did that whole thing with the bell because that was the Houston Astro saying there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Okay,
here we
keep
go.
It up. I told you, I got heat tonight, but leave it alone. Leave it alone. I'm sorry. The only team that really matters right now is this one right here. So anyway, how's your vacation doing, by the way, with the Astros? Okay, cool.
Oh, you see now? Okay, he's gonna start. He's gonna start something. He's gonna start something.
I mean, we start and we finish. Y'all started and sputtered, but another story for another day. But let's get you back up to what happened over last weekend. Of course, it seems like it's been a tennis match between the two companies, but this past weekend, it was definitely WWE. They were down in the A, stomping like they were the Young Bloods, but it was for Bad Blood. Now, Bad Blood was their premium live event, and as you can see here, this was the layout for the card. Of course, it got started with the Hell in the Cell match. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they definitely left it all in the ring, pun the intention there. But in the end, CM Punk did get the victory. Both of them put on a hell of a match there. Nia Jax did defend and keep her women's title, defeating Bayley. Finn Balor took the L against Damian Priest. Liv Morgan actually took a loss in her match, but she did not lose that title. We'll talk about in a second why. And then, of course, in the main event, Solo and the Timu Bloodline took an L to Roman Reigns and Cody with the return of. We'll talk about that right now because the return in that main event was not who I thought it was going to be. I had said it was going to be Brock Lesnar. He was spotted down there in Atlanta, but seems like WWE was pulling off a swerve. They remember how to do those, right? And they pulled this one off with basically one part of the family coming back home. That's right. Jimmy Uso is back, and he let it be known that it's still down with Roman Reigns, knocking out his own brother, Solo, and getting the victory for Roman and Cody there. Let's just start with that first, which was the main event, Cyber. What did you think of that? Jimmy now back in the fold with the original OG bloodline.
Well, I can tell you this much. It's not a surprise whatsoever because look at it. We're already in October.
Yep.
We have Survivor Series on the horizon coming up. And we all know what it's going to build to. It's going to be a bloodline civil war. And obviously, in some way, shape, or form, there is rumor that the bloodline is going to be moving over to Raw. And it's really going to pick up momentum in January. And that's where Jey Uso is going to get involved. And then the final couple pieces are going to fall into place. And again, Cody is going to be involved in a War Games match, not defending his title. I honestly think if that happens, he's got to pull double duty. They got to put the War Games as the main event and have Cody defending the title as the first match, the opening match of the night. Like he pulled double duty for WrestleMania.
He's probably going to have to. Remember, y'all, Survivor Series is not a 2-night event. I don't think it ever should be.
No.
It will not be. That's still the Thanksgiving tradition. But he will have to pull double duty because I think if he doesn't defend this belt here, it will be well over, I think, 45 to 60 days, give or take a few weeks, that he will defend the title since Berlin. Of course, Bash to Berlin, which was a glorified house show for people out in Germany. But double duty probably looks like the best thing for him to do. It was kind of like a hometown thing for him at Bad Blood. He just had to, leave his bed, jump in the car, head down to State Farm, a.k.a. the Omni, if you know, you know.
Exactly.
And give a show for the local fans there in Atlanta. But I am on the same wavelength as you. This definitely looks like OG Bloodline versus the Timu Bloodline. So we talking the real Jordans versus the reps. That's what we're doing right here with this. The OGs versus the fake Bloodline here. But as we saw, and we'll hit to it in just a second here, it looks like the Timu Bloodline may have gotten a upgrade of sorts when this guy actually showed up at Bad Blood.
The final, God damn, that's good shit.
Yeah, that guy. When you thought the premium live event was over, you just saw Final Boss pop up on your screen. I thought I was playing Streets of Rage there for a second when I saw Final Boss, but no, it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He made his entrance at the end of the event, and it clearly looks, thank you to that one person that was in the crowd that caught Solo talking to Jacob Fatu. You got to remember to stay in character. People have camera phones now, and said that this was part of the plan. So The Rock joining up with Solo and Jacob, and we still know there's like 45 other cousins lined up.
There's no Trojan nowhere near that family.
No Trojan, no nothing. They do not know what latex is all about. But Hikuleo is the one that we're talking about that probably will make his return there soon. Like we've always told you on this show, when you hear a person's name and then you don't hear it for a while, that means they are coming. So I would say
Mm-hmm.
probably no later than the Monday after Survivor Series, Hikuleo will make his presence be known in the WWE. Of course, siding with Solo and Jacob Fatu. And Cyber, what do you think about the tag team there? The Tongaloa and Botchmaster MC over there. What do you think of that tag team?
Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, I can tell you this much. They seem rather watered down from their days in New Japan, and Tama Tonga, I just think he's going with one hand tied behind his back. Just his promos, they're still pretty good, but they're not New Japan good back in the day when he was telling everybody to go do something with themselves and F you and all that. So, I mean, I feel like if they were to cut him loose, like Tama Tonga loose, like the way he was before, he would be on a completely different level. Him and Tongaloa would be on different levels if they just let them do what they do.
Yeah, I see it too. It's still kind of watered down. We're kind of in this PG trying to dip our foot into TV 14 right now at this time of the year because we all know what's going to happen come January. But I see it a lot because we've seen them in New Japan, what's going on with them. But
yeah,
it's definitely got to step up.
So we have Bananas Epic Gaming here. The family has the Sean Spears method. Tried to pull out and fail every time. Jesus Christ!
You know what? That definitely says it right.
That
there.
makes that. Yeah,
their pullout game is on 0.
Weak.
Yeah, seriously weak. They just keep multiplying every damn day. It just seems like there's gonna be 4 new cousins by the end of the show. We don't know. That's just how it freaking works with that family, the annoying family. But
yeah,
we did get that return of The Rock. We did get the return of Jimmy Uso. We also got the return of Raquel. That's right. Raquel did make her return, and she came during the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan match, of course, which was for the women's world title. Poor Dominic Mysterio was locked up in a shark cage about, I'll say, a good 10 feet above the entranceway there. And just when you thought Rhea had it won, here comes Raquel. And yeah, Liv took the loss. So technically, she did lose the match, but most importantly, the title stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think she's now becoming the Diesel to Liv's Shawn Michaels. But what do you think, Cyber?
I think that's the route they're trying to take here. Obviously, Raquel botched royally on her return. And to top it all off, what a lot of people aren't noticing is it seems like people in the back may feel like this whole thing with Liv and Dominic is not working. Because you can already see kind of the cracks starting to appear in the whole Liv and Dominic thing. So it's only a matter of time until we see what happens there. But yeah, I see this as being big time modern day version of Shawn Michaels and Big Daddy Diesel.
Yes.
So that is definitely what I see coming out of it. But it's a shame though that Raquel messed up that whole thing so badly.
The whole thing.
We give Tongaloa such crap, but in all honesty, Raquel deserved a big chunk of that, way more crap than what he got.
Yeah, it was a botch fest with that. I think they're trying to bring back Raquel slowly. I don't think she's still 100% just yet. Reason why she was brought in like that, and probably which will be a bodyguard through Survivor Series. But nonetheless, she did return. It's another woman you can put into that women's division. Let's see what happens when they don't have so many injuries. And she is a pretty good worker in the ring, so let's give her a few weeks and see what happens. But if she's on, certain levels of other wrestlers, it's going to be a problem before it really gets better. But now, we had Hell in a Cell. We was finally saying this for weeks. We hope that this was going to be the end of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and it looks like right now that's pretty much it. Once again, CM Punk did get the victory, hopefully ending the feud between the two. You've seen it on social media. They've had cuts, bruises. They needed a lot of stitches, a lot of staples, a lot of blade. I was almost gonna say that B word, but it was a
Oh
lot of
man.
blood going on right there. And I have to say, it was a good ending to it, but hopefully they go their separate ways. We won't see CM Punk or Drew McIntyre probably at a certain pay-per-view we'll be talking about in a second, but they need the time off for a while.
Yes, I agree. And from what it looks like, after this past Monday, it looks like we're gonna see Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I think this is going to be the rivalry that's going to catapult him into a world heavyweight title opportunity, because it's going to come down to one of them going for the title.
Well, I mean, since you did mention it, let's talk about it. It was Monday Night Raw that was on USA Network this past Monday night. And for the first time in quite a long time, it was only 2 hours, y'all. 8 to 10 p.m. And I got to say here, I think a Yankee and Astro is going to agree. Usually doesn't happen at this time of the year, but it actually flowed better than most Raws all year.
Oh, yeah.
Went by very quickly. Everybody knew their spots. Things was going cool. You got a lot more video packages like Rhea Ripley did. So that saved 5 to 7 minutes out in the ring doing a promo. And to me, it just seemed better. I think they need to stick with this for quite some time, at least through the end of the year, when then they move over to big old Netflix. What says you, Cyber?
I agree. They need to keep it 2 hours for the remainder of their stay on the USA Network, because I feel like this is one of those situations where less is more. You are obviously getting more matches, but also too, instead of having these long drawn out promos, you're just getting these vignettes of different superstars. So I mean, it's working now, but once it moves over to Netflix, I can see it going back to 3 hours, because they're going to be able to be edgier there, because it's not going to have to be that TV 14. We're going to see a little bit more graphic content, I would want to say.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot more entertaining, especially with the Bloodline moving over to Raw. The potential of Jey Uso getting into the fold for War Games. You also have the potential of the titles switching.
Yes.
That's another rumor, that the Undisputed title is going to go to Raw and the World Heavyweight title is going to go to SmackDown.
Which then would pretty much make Raw back to being the A show of sorts, with SmackDown being the B show. Of course, just having the World Heavyweight title, aka Big Belt, for y'all don't know now.
Yeah, and to be honest, I could see, with the way that NXT is doing now, these 2 weeks that it's already been on CW, I could actually see NXT becoming a legitimate third brand, like that year that NXT had to invade SmackDown because half of the superstars were still stuck in Saudi, dealing with issues there. I could see NXT becoming a third brand, especially with the numbers that they're pulling.
Yes, we're definitely going to be talking about NXT in a little bit here, because they did have their second week on the CW, and it was in Orton country of sorts. But wait till I have some things to say about that show. But you did mention that S word, and we just got to talk about it here real quick. But before we do that, I think we need to have this graphic here.
Oh
Views
boy, here we go.
Viewpoints that are about to be spoken by me, DJ Notorious, are not the viewpoints of Cyb3rYeti or the Wrestling Revival Podcast. Viewers' discretion is advised. So
here we go.
Mention of Saudi, and the reason why is because of this. It's now that time of the year where WWE has to get that blood money, and I'm not talking about Capone or Noriega. If you know, you know. It is time for Crown Jewel, and now they're going to have a champions versus champion match for the men and the women this year. And the winner of that will get that big, gaudy, I think 50-carat belt that you just saw there a second ago. But let's cut the bullshit here, shall we? Okay. A lot of people, I'm not the only one, I'm just speaking for the people that don't have a podcast. This is a blood money grab. A lot of people do not like WWE being involved with Radal season, Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel, Open Jewel, Jewel the Singer, whatever the case may be. They don't like it. And I definitely can understand why. A lot of tensions going on in the Middle East. I'll just leave it at that. However, this is something that the former head guy put in place, VKM, and honestly, it's not even needed. This is just a show to put on for the fans out there in Saudi. Doesn't help storylines. You don't have a lot of people going. Am I right, Cyber, with this? Sami Zayn just finally showed up to one last year due to certain beliefs that were had. He's a pretty big wrestler on their roster, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. But for this to all happen, I say that this should be the last year. And I'm pleading with you, Paul Levesque. With a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, we just passed a certain anniversary just a few days ago. Let this be the last year that WWE is involved in Saudi. It's a PR nightmare. A lot of the wrestlers have issues. Cyber just mentioned it a few minutes ago. When they're out there 1 year, a lot of NXT had to invade SmackDown because a lot of wrestlers didn't show up in time. Just cut it out. It doesn't help storylines. It doesn't help you propel over to Survivor Series, which is your next premium live event. Why do it? For blood money? For certain things that you know they've done, but we can't prove? I mean, it's just a hunk of bullshit. You don't really need it. PR right now is not the WWE's best category right now, so stay away from anything that could just bring a bad light to you. And just remember, all money isn't good money. Just ask Diddy. I'm going to leave it at that.
I know he just did not bring the diddler up in this.
Yeah, I did. I told you, I chose violence tonight. Because, I mean,
okay.
I'm sorry. It really bothers me that how many years has it been now? 6, 7 years?
It's been about 6 years. I think there's a 7-year contract in place. So I think it's next year. That's the last year for Saudi. But here's what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Due to the fact that Endeavor is now in charge, look at how many events UFC has had in Saudi when it comes to their pay-per-views. I hate to tell you this, but I have a feeling this belt is going to solidify them going at least once a year for the foreseeable future.
Is anybody going to use that belt? Is anybody going to talk about that belt after Crown Jewel? Are you going to see any of those wrestlers walking with that belt?
All I got to say is, why are they putting out a belt when Braun Strowman is still the one that holds that other belt? He's been holding it for like 2,300 and something days.
And that was for the greatest Royal Rumble ever or something of that sort. So that clearly shows you right there, ladies and gentlemen. These are just glorified titles to make the people in Saudi feel like they have something major there. Let's be honest. This Crown Jewel is their version of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is what this is. And I get it. You want to be in that market and everything like that. You're thinking business-wise. You know me, DJ, I always love business. But this just does not fit. Not too many happy wrestlers. Travel is a bitch. And then on top of that, the PR nightmare. We're already going through one in the States. Now you have to deal with one internationally. All signs say for you to just cut your losses and move on here. Like, I know I would if I was Paul Levesque right now.
I mean, yeah, I would too. But here's the thing, man. Endeavor is going to smell that money and they're going to go after it. Even if Triple H has a problem with it, they're going to say it doesn't matter. We're the ones that are going to make this decision. You're going.
And I guarantee you, we will tell you that list as it gets closer and closer to Crown Jewel. There will probably be at least 3 wrestlers. I would say probably at least one prominent on either roster that will not make that trip to Crown Jewel. Not named CM Punk or Drew McIntyre. That's already been known. They're not going. As CM Punk said on Raw, he has a lot of flowers to buy because he hasn't seen his wife in almost 6 weeks. So
Yep.
that would be that. But let us know on social media, what do you think about Crown Jewel still going on for WWE? Should they keep it or should they ditch it? Let us know on Instagram, the Wrestling Revival Podcast, on IG, TikTok, TWRP_official_, and on X. That's right, we're on X too, TWRP_official. Let us know, is Crown Jewel is something you look forward to? You know, a pay-per-view at 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the States, East Coast that is, or do you think they should just get rid of it and prepare for Survivor Series? Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Because it could be a shit show. It could be a shit show coming up after next year.
It really could be. It seems like a lot of moving parts with WWE. It could be with, you know, the Crown Jewel, the WWE 2K situation. That's also up next year. So could be a lot of moving parts for them. And two of their big money gets there, of course, being the video game and Radad. So.
All right. So Aaron King, not a fan of the whole Crown Jewel Championship concept. I think all of us are in agreement with that. The biggest thing is at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we think. Endeavor is going to go where the money is. And if the UFC pay-per-views that have happened in Saudi are proof, WWE is going to keep going.
So
it doesn't matter what the superstars say. It doesn't matter what Paul Levesque says. They are going to still go because Endeavor says so.
So then basically that means if they're out there in Saudi Arabia, that's the strip, and the WWE is the hoe? Is that what we're saying here? They're going to be on that strip? That's what they're doing? I mean, from how I grew up, that sounds like they're about to be on a stroll. If you know, you
know.
That is, I'm sorry. Like I said before, all money ain't good money. Ain't good money there.
No.
We were talking about this just a few minutes ago, and we're getting closer and closer to the date. It is that first Monday in January where this happens. That's right. Monday Night Raw heads over to Netflix. That's right. So if you do not have your Netflix subscription, I suggest getting that started up right now so you can avoid the confusion after the holidays. You know, you'll forget you got this holiday party to go to, this New Year's party, and then boom, here it is. You forgot about Netflix. Monday Night Raw. They've been plotting this for a while. Netflix has been doing a whole bunch of live events to get the capabilities ready for a show like Monday Night Raw. I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be TVMA from day one. And word is that the first few episodes is going to be on the level of PLEs. So if you just seen Bad Blood over the weekend, you saw Metro Boomin out there with Cody Rhodes and things of that nature. Think of the Attitude Era with an MA rating. That's pretty much what you're going to get from day one of them on Netflix. And I'm sorry, I'm there to watch it. I'm here for it. There won't be no real big, NFL football going on for Monday Night Football. So they got all eyes on them to start the year off. But Cyber, what do you think? Because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it right now.
I can tell you this much. I'm freaking excited, man. I cannot wait to see what they pull out of their ass for this. Like hands down. I'm not joking. Like, I legitimately want to see what they're going to do, because obviously we're going to see some stars. We're going to see some people who are fans of WWE, or hell, even if they're not, we're going to still see them popping up. Two, we're probably going to see some debuts, which means we could potentially see the Bloodline switching over.
Right.
In the first 2 weeks. We could see members of NXT coming up, which, to be honest, one of the ones that's rumored is that Roxana Perez is going to be one of the first females to show up.
Which would be good. I mean, of course, we know she's in her storyline right now, still on NXT, but that would be one of those things, because remember, at that time, first week in January, we're already looking forward to the end of the month, which would be
the Royal Rumble.
So,
and the next person that's rumored too is Becky Lynch. She is rumored to be returning right around the Netflix deal starting.
That would be good too. She strikes me as a wrestler that would love to have the reins taken off of them as such, of being on Netflix and that TVMA rating. Certain things she can get away with that she necessarily couldn't get away with on USA or Fox, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be beneficial to her. So looking forward to that. Look for any big names that haven't been seen in a while
and
start popping up around there.
And please let this happen. Let this person show up too.
What are you now, BBL Bailey?
Am I lying?
You ain't lying. I'm not lying here. I mean, she do got a wagon that she be dragging. I'm just saying, it's there. We know.
Yeah.
It's there.
And to top it all off, people would be like, please, dear God, let Nikita Lyons show up too. I know one certain Mocha Frappuccino would be so excited to see her pop up on Raw, the second episode. Oh, excuse me. Wait a minute. It's October. Mr. Pumpkin Spice. Mr. Pumpkin Spice. Mr. A certain movie.
I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around in Sleepy Town.
Yeah.
I told you. There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. So, speaking of. And then here we go. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. You should know this by now.
You know what? Let's run it back one more time.
I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around in Sleepy Town.
He's been a little sleepless in Seattle for the past couple of days. Leave him alone. He don't like block kicks that much. We'll just leave it at
that. Not the block kick.
The block kick, yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think after that block kick, he likes the movie Losing Isaiah. He'll know what that means by that. Gotcha.
You got this man messed up. And here I thought
he could just do this after.
Damn, Tyler.
I mean, that's what he did Sunday night. I mean, he went to bed crying. So, I mean, it is what it is.
This is the only thing I really have going for me right now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this in there too.
Oh,
you know, you had to have been crying in your damn pillow to lose to someone who is 0-4.
All right, real quickly before we get to the other side of the wrestling spectrum, which would be NXT and then of course AEW. A broke clock is right twice a day, right? So
hey, I don't care.
Guess what?
I got my important win of the season, so I don't care.
Win in fantasy football, y'all. Of course, myself and Cyber, along with a few other people, we're in a fantasy football league. Of course, I'm the commish, and like I said, a broke clock is correct twice out of a day, and he finally got a victory. His first one of the year. I think we're to week 6 now, but he finally got his victory, and at this rate, he might have 3 wins before the season's over.
Good. The final. God damn, that's good shit.
Yeah, it was good for you. I just feel sorry for my next opponent next week, so I'm just gonna go off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna wind up doing this next week after taking that L.
Yo, this should be an Olympic sport, bro.
That's what I do to these WWE stands all the time. I just throw them out like
Well,
trash.
we actually do it to both
Yes, we do.
both stands.
We do.
So
Because you know what? Yeah,
let's keep it correct. Let's
it
keep it
is
correct.
both. And you know what? Speaking of that, this is what we have to speak about next, and it is NXT. Now, NXT
Ooh.
also went up against AEW on Tuesday. I know some of y'all are wondering what the hell is going on. Are we going back a few years here? No, this is what happened. Of course, NXT has always been on Tuesdays for quite some time now, but they are now on the CW network. They had their second episode just last night. But AEW, of course, like we told you, the NHL was starting their season, so that's why they were moved up to a Tuesday title Tuesday show. So, of course, AEW is not usually on Tuesdays. They're on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, and they went up against NXT. Now, the numbers have come out.
Ooh.
To not my surprise, I don't know, maybe I just saw this coming a mile away, and I'm just maybe just a little smarter than a fifth grader. But NXT did win out in the ratings. They had well over 800,000 to AEW's Title Tuesday just having over 300,000. So about a good 500,000 gap between the two.
Yeah.
So NHL plus the Major League Baseball playoff games, add in a little sprinkle of being on an entirely different day and time. A lot of people think they actually went head to head with each other, and they actually did not. AEW Title Tuesday started at 9 and went to 11. It was already on the second hour of NXT at that point, and everybody was waiting for Sexy Red and, of course, Randy Orton taking on a child. So that's basically what it was there. And I'm not surprised. I'm not even angry that AEW did that. For them to do 300,000 on not their original day or time, of course, with Tyler just mentioning there in the chat there, NHL plus Major League Baseball coverage going on, it was to be expected. So what says you, Cyber? I was not surprised that NXT won that.
I am not surprised at all either, because these first 2 weeks of NXT being on the CW, the first week we had CM Punk getting involved with Trick Williams, and then the whole Roxanne Perez thing on top of that. Yes. And this week we had Randy Orton. So they loaded the card with the intention of pulling as many eyes as possible onto it. And I can tell you this, Paul Levesque and Shawn Michaels have the exact same mind when it comes to what they're doing with NXT. And I think that is the reason why Paul Levesque chose Shawn Michaels to run NXT. So with that, it doesn't surprise me they beat AEW, especially with what AEW was going up against in regards to the start of hockey season. And I think Major League Baseball was also going on. I think I saw that from Tyler. Yes, the playoff games were going on also. And so it's really not a surprise. It's not saying that the product AEW is putting out isn't good. It's just they literally had their back up against the wall, and they were fighting an uphill battle that they knew they probably weren't going to win.
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
I have to say, too, with NXT, they did have, it wasn't really, honestly, for people that might be the casual fan, it was definitely Randy Orton being on there that drove them to watch. But also, if you were the real wrestling fan, it was that Opal Femi versus, a certain Italian that was on that show for that North American Championship that a lot of people was waiting to see if Rocky did pull off beating Apollo Creed, and he did, because we do have that new NXT North American champion, Antonio Angelo.
I can tell you this right now, they didn't do it for Oma Femi to stay in NXT. He is going to the main roster. Quick and fast in a hurry. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens within the next 2 weeks. Wow. He'll pop up either on Raw or SmackDown within the next 2 weeks. The question is where are they going to put him?
I think he's probably going to end up on SmackDown. Raw already has Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman. I think they got enough monsters over there. I think you need to have him as a monster of a show where he can just flat out dominate for a good 4 weeks straight, just demolishing the entire roster. That would be SmackDown.
Yeah, most definitely. And I see that being a perfect fit for him. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they put him against L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to lose that belt because it's been boring, as you know what.
And also, too, you see here Tyler saying from the media call today that they have with Tony Khan, they said they had to do a lot of shuffling of talent due to the hurricane in Florida, which obviously our thoughts and prayers are with those people who are currently having to go through that right now, because it's getting bad. You know, it's getting bad when they have to close the Waffle House and they have to board up the windows.
Why you gotta say the Waffle House?
Hey, because you know why? We don't have Waffle Houses down here. I'm kind of like, man, I'm kind of craving that shit right now.
Why you have to say the Waffle House?
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Yeah, Waffle House. Give me everything. Give me everything that they serve. The pancakes, the hash browns, the sausage, all that shit.
Is that you rapping there, sir? Is that you rapping?
No.
Okay, I thought it sounded like that.
A couple clap, you won't hear right when I buck the gate. I keep squeezing until something fly in his ear. Like, what the fuck is
Man, oh man.
Long shot.
Yeah, long shot.
You know. But yes, I mean, it wasn't that much of a surprise. I see a lot of people on social media going crazy saying, AEW got their ass whooped and NXT is here to stay. They're the champions. Have we not seen this play out before?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, NXT fans. And remember, I told you, I give it to both of you, AEW and NXT. But NXT, I need you to come to the front of the congregation here for a second. I need to have a word with you.
Oh, boy. I
need to have a word with you. So come on down. Come on.
If you're going to say what you're about to say, I'm about to.
Come on down.
If we were in person, I'd be throwing hands with you right now.
You ain't gonna throw hands with me because you can't. I'm undisputed. Okay, I'm undisputed. But
I don't give a shit.
I gotta say this right now. NXT fans, very good, loyal fans, and the wrestling inside the ring was pretty good last night.
Mm-hmm.
However, when did y'all start going to bingo halls and calling it NXT? Because you can't tell me that NXT last night did not look like a Temu Wish version of a broken down TNA arena. Because it did. I said it, damn it. I said it. Because that's exactly what it looked like. I turned to it on the USA Network and I was like, oh, sorry, CW. See, I'm still used to this. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Are they at a club? Was this a club that they just transformed into a wrestling ring and arena? The little stage. You got people sitting on the stage. What the fuck is that? Like, what was that? I expected more from WWE, but that's when you can only sell about 2,000 tickets. That's what happens. But
okay, so obviously DJ is on that dumb shit right now.
No,
he is on. Yes, you are. You are on that dumb shit now.
It's out there to everyone watching right now, whether you're watching it live here on YouTube or you're going to be watching the replay throughout the week. You watched NXT on CW. Close your eyes. Think of that arena. Did it not look like a broken down TNA, or we just had a club venue last night? We decided to put NXT here. It screamed indies. It screamed it. And for something of WWE standard, I did not expect that at all. Just saying. Just saying. Was no other stadium or arena available? This is St. Louis. You did have Randy Orton there. You had Randy Orton going to a borderline bingo hall. That's what we doing? I thought ECW died a long time ago. I'm just saying. Sorry, not sorry.
And ladies and gentlemen, that came from the Temu version of Mr. Method Man over here. Dressed the way that he looks right now.
Listen, I bring the pain all day, okay? Shouts to the Woo. But Since you wanted to put it there.
Shout out. I know you just didn't say shout outs to the Woo.
Okay. All right. And shout outs to Power. If you know, you know. But
Power, this motherfucker.
See what you said, Method Man, so I had to put it out there. That's your fault, not us. And look what it said here. Yeah, they downgraded to a 1,500 seat arena because they couldn't sell tickets in their original location. So is it? So DJ was right? Look at that. See what happens when you use your eyes and do the eye test? It looked like a bingo hall. Seriously, I guess that's going to be a new arena in WWE 2K25, I guess. I don't know. Their setup was eerily similar to the setup TNA just had for the Nashville team.
Okay, so let me put it to you out there like this. Okay, so where was it? What town was it in again?
It was in St. Louis.
It was in St. Louis. Okay.
Yes.
Now, legitimately, even back in the black and gold days, did they ever do anything in that area?
I think they did have NXT, and quote me if I'm wrong, guys, watching live. I think they did have a pay-per-view for NXT. Can't remember which one it was, but I think they did one in the St. Louis area. I think it was just one.
Okay, so you have to realize something. Unfortunately, we went through the NXT 2.0 days, which, dear God, I wish I could erase that from my brain.
Crayola box, yeah.
Crayola box.
Yes.
That was pretty much NXT's dark time, like before FCW. That was another dark time for them. And yes,
not the F word.
I'm calling it exactly the way it is.
Florida Championship Wrestling.
And, okay, so let me continue. They went through that dark time. They lost people from that. Hell, I was one of them. And Nickelodeon XT. What the?
Everybody got
someone needs
their mind tonight. Everybody has violence on their mind tonight.
No. But anyway, I was even one of those ones that stopped watching NXT when that whole 2.0 crap happened. As soon as I saw Bruce Pritchard, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But they have to build back from that. They're on the right track. Obviously, with CM Punk there, I believe that was just Chicago for the first episode.
Yes.
Obviously, you knew they were going to sell out like that, especially the second it was announced CM Punk was going to be there.
Right.
So obviously, they did it in a huge arena. They were able to pack it out. Now, in St. Louis, I believe you're correct. I believe they did have one in the area prior.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, I can understand them downsizing it. I know you're saying it's because they weren't able to sell the tickets. It's because they haven't been on the CW that long. They've only been there 2 weeks. And there are some major areas, which I'll be honest, I'm giving smoke to NXT right now, but I could turn around and do the exact same thing to AEW when it comes to this situation as well. This is a market that they haven't touched very much. So I honestly think they went more on the side of caution. And they said, we would much rather go to a smaller venue and look like we sell it out than, I hate to say it, do what AEW does and just drop a massive black curtain and fill however much we can do with it. For example, I don't know if you saw on social media where they actually listed the places that AEW went this year. But look at all the major markets they didn't go to. One of the biggest ones here in Texas, they didn't go to. They didn't come here.
Well, you guys said, when you mentioned
the San Antonio market is one of the biggest markets. Why do you think every couple of years the Royal Rumble's here?
Very true. You do bring up a good point with that. But let's remember, on AEW side, because remember, we'll fight for both sides here. AEW did do Collision for how many weeks in Texas? Did they have some form of like a residency?
It was like I said, they were doing the same thing that the NXT did this past Tuesday. They went to smaller venues. The biggest venue they went to was the HEB Center in North Austin and Cedar Park. That was the biggest venue they went to. And I can tell you this from my personal friends who actually went to that event. They said that over a quarter of that place was still empty. And that was from them telling me and actually showing me pictures. I'm going to have to dig through their social media to find them. But they went there. They went to a small town outside of, I think, San Angelo. They went out toward El Paso. Dude, these aren't big wrestling markets. These are small towns that they know it's going to attract something when they see a bunch of huge semis with the AEW logo on it. Oh, this is something different. I'm going to go to this.
That is true on some records of it, but this is also thinking we're talking about, and we're just going to put it out there. We're going to play big city versus little city. How many people know of St. Louis, Missouri?
Oh yeah, people know of it.
About the HEB arena down there in Texas.
It's actually go ahead.
It's Lamborghinis to Burger King. If you literally was going to tell somebody what city do they know of more, it's going to be St. Louis, Missouri, between that and where that HEB arena is. Everybody's going to say St. Louis. Everybody knows that from either your sports teams, such as the Cardinals, such as pop culture, Nelly, Country Grammar, or just off of the fact of it's one of the biggest cities out there. Even with football, they used to have the Rams there. So compared to those two, St. Louis is the bigger town and has the bigger arenas.
I agree with you, but then you're kind of saying the same thing I was saying about AEW, is they're not focusing on the big areas to host events. Not only that, because of the NBA G League, exactly. That is what that's known for. I will tell you this. Yes, I am country. So this is going to not surprise people. But when the HEB Center very first opened up, I was there opening night to see George Strait. Yes, don't judge me. You know I'm in Texas, so don't do that.
He done did it.
What the fuck?
Hey, don't don't be doing that. But anyway, what
Rhinestone Cowboy, you.
Fuck no.
See what I did there? Rhinestone Cowboy to the space whatever.
No, that was stupid.
You're still taking L's, but it's okay. It's fine.
Anyway, my point is, instead of going to the HEB Center, AEW could have taken a shot in the dark and gone to the Moody Center, which is the biggest place, one of the biggest places here outside of stadiums, and it's one of the newest venues in Texas, in Austin. And that is where WWE plants their flag every time they come to Texas, and it's right on the University of Texas campus. AEW has not stepped foot once close enough to that area to do anything. And that's not me saying that they can't do it. It's me saying that they're not rolling the dice to take the chance.
And this is the point I was going to bring up, but Tyler beat me right to it. Shouts to everybody down in the chat, by the way. WWE has that in their contracts with arenas that they go to, whether it be for Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, or whatever. If you're there in October, you cannot have anybody there 3 months prior or 3 months after. Combined with some of these locations that have, for instance, the G League or concerts of that matter, the remaining dates are very slim to none, especially when it's a small town compared to a big city like St. Louis.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that St. Louis isn't a big market, but like I said, I just think NXT was cautious about going there, because they didn't know how the sales were going to be with the tickets. And I think they went more with the guaranteed money than they did with rolling the dice, which I see that as a problem. Exactly like I said with AEW, they're not willing to roll the dice to say, okay, we're going to go shoot for the Moody Center in Austin. We're going to go ahead and go and do that. and see what happens. Because yes, when WWE comes to Texas, that is one of the main places that they hit the Moody Center. But here's the thing, there's 12 months in a year. You can have a WWE event either at the beginning or the end of the year, and then on that opposite side of it, you can do a rival promotion event as well. So if WWE has the end of the year, like December, that doesn't mean they can't hit beginning of the year.
Remember, okay, I'll give this example to it here, and I'm glad we're having this conversation here. I'm going to use Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, as the example.
Okay.
You have two tenants already there, the Knicks and the Rangers. 82 game schedule from October through June if they make it to the championship.
Yeah.
They get top priority no matter what.
No, I get you.
You add in concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Madison Square Garden is famous for. You add in the comedy shows. Then you want to add in other boxing events, UFC, which is going to be there next month. When you add that all in, there's not that many remaining dates. Plus, they have to keep open dates just in case a team or a game has to get postponed or canceled due to natural disasters, such as when we had the hurricane here in New York, things of that nature. So when you then look at that, there's not that many dates left. And it's like that for Madison Square Garden. It's even worse for a small town arena.
I can tell you this. The Moody Center is not exclusive to anybody. The only thing that's there during its season is men's college basketball and women's college basketball. That's it. And to be honest, if it's a big enough organization, they will be willing to move and go and make sure that it's during an out of town series to accommodate.
No, definitely. They would make sure.
I mean, those are the main things that I always try to, reiterate. But like you said, you're talking about stadium level venues when you talk about Madison Square Garden, because technically that's what it falls under, because that would be like, I would compare it to, Arlington.
Not necessarily.
Not size wise, but I'm talking about like level of namesake, like a prestige level.
Right.
I would consider it that. And that's the reason why I'm like, I understand where you're coming from. So my whole thing is that I just feel like both sides, both NXT and AEW, need to roll the dice every once in a while and take a shot at going at a bigger venue and try their luck.
And you know what? I'm glad you said it that way, because this is what happens on social media. And people, once again, watching, tell me if you agree or not agree. AEW takes more shots with that, and they get lambasted on social media when they have to pull the tarp off on certain sections. However, NXT just last night was in a bingo hall / dance hall. I don't see nobody talking about that.
Again, that's
crazy.
But also too, this is that cult mentality in regards to who's pro WWE, who's pro AEW. I'm starting to slowly see the shift in fans. So very slowly, but it's starting to be noticeable. I'm starting to see more and more fans say, you know what? It doesn't matter what company it is. If they're putting on good shit, you just need to be happy to be a wrestling fan and just enjoy it.
It's definitely getting to that point. It is.
Yes.
It's slowly getting to that point where there's going to be some form of a middle ground, as it should be. There are people that we like in NXT, myself and Cyber included. There are some people we can't stand in NXT. There are some people we like and dislike on both Raw and SmackDown, and just the same in AEW. But you're going to like what you like. But here on this show, we're going to give you the good and the bad, and praise and reprimand those in those separate actions. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. For NXT, for their second week after literally just last week being in Chicago and that huge arena to then go to the bingo hall, it's like somebody got promoted onto SmackDown and went automatically back to NXT. That's the feeling that it got. The first week on CW, it felt like, wow, this is big. It felt like NXT's last pay-per-view. That was in Denver, felt big, felt amazing. And then this was the big letdown.
Yeah. I mean, facts are facts. I mean, it does kind of feel like that, but also too, you can kind of understand why they did it. It's like you should have taken your shot and tried instead of playing it safe, but also on the opposite side, you can understand why they were cautious.
Even that too, for it being Randy Orton and a performance from Sexy Red, yeah, that didn't look good. That did not look good. Even for the 7th night with Randy Orton, Sexy Red has been selling out quite a few venues lately, and for doing it in her hometown as well, it didn't come off correctly in my eyes. I know. But let us know definitely how you feel about it on our social medias. Do you think, it was a good move for NXT after their first week, or was it not? Definitely let us know. We'll let you know those results on next week's show. But now we're going to talk some AEW. And to be honest with you, Title Tuesday was a big disaster of sorts. The main thing that came from it was literally we have who is going up against Mariah May for that AEW women's title. Mm-hmm. No. It's not the lady from Southampton. Nope, it's not her. Mm-mm. It's the lady from New York. That's right. I guess she's going to be outside like it's a versus battle with the Jadakiss, but it's Willow Nightingale. She will be taking on Mariah May this Saturday at WrestleDream. Now, the one thing that made this good, and you guys can catch it on social media, immediately after winning her match by beating 3 other former world champions, shout out to Willow for that, she basically bulldozed Mariah May out of an interview section. I mean, completely bulldozed her. And made it be known that this is going to be a fight on Saturday. There was other highlights there continuing going into WrestleDream this Saturday, but to be honest with you, really nothing even worth speaking about. It was just one of the more lesser dynamites, I guess you could say, of the year, combined with that being your go-home show before WrestleDream. It just didn't come off really well on a Tuesday.
It just didn't feel right at all. Like, it just felt like everything was off.
Yeah. It felt off from the opening of the show with Moxley giving his nice soliloquy to having, Hologram and Commander going at it. I mean, I said Hologram and Commander. It sounded like, video game characters, but but it seemed off. That's the best way to put it. It just seemed off for most of the night, unless you got to that Willow match there, that Fatal 4-Way. But yeah, that's what Dynamite was. Definitely expected to be much better next week as it's coming off of WrestleDream. And speaking of WrestleDream, we do have that coming up this Saturday. Of course, you can watch it live on pay-per-view, YouTube, and of course other options as well. But let's get to the card right here. Of course, the main event is Danielson versus Moxley for the AEW World Championship. International, you have a triple threat match. Of course, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita is in that matchup there. Tag team titles on the line, Private Party, and of course the Young Bucks. As we just mentioned earlier, Willow versus Mariah May for the Women's Championship. In a grudge match of sorts, you have Hangman Adam Page going up against Jay White. Of course, the Bang Bang Gang will be at ringside. We do have the return of Swerve Strickland. I think that is where we might get a debut, but we'll talk about that in a second. TNT title is on the line as well. We do have Big Brody King going up against Darby Allin. Darby Allin's going to be thrown all across the Tacoma Dome in that match. Ring of Honor World title, Briscoe versus, God damn it, Jericho. And then you have Brian Cage also on the card there as well. So that is the match card as of right now. Of course, they make any changes or additions. You can catch that on our social media. Of course, Saturday afternoon, 12 p.m. Eastern on all social media platforms. Now, I know I got my favorite match of the night, and I have my favorite probably segment of the night. But we're going to let, the Astro go first because they just cleaned out their lockers today, so I feel bad for them. So,
this motherfucker, I swear to God.
Go ahead, man. Just go ahead.
Okay, so first off, we already know what's going to happen with Swerve Strickland coming out. We're going to have the debut of Bobby Lashley to AEW because 1 + 1 still equals 2.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, please tell me I'm not the only one who is pissed off about the whole ROH situation of what's going on right now. If you're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship from ROH being defended, why in the hell don't you have the Women's World Championship being defended as well instead of the goddamn television championship? What the hell? Tony Khan, you need to do better.
I can't even tell you what the reason is because I don't even know.
He needs to do
really
better. I'm tired of his bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be a combination of maybe there's not a good opponent or the champion, which I know is Athena, can't make the show or something like that. I don't know what the situation is, but that probably could have something to do with it. Especially with, the second hurricane in pretty much a week and a half going on, depending on where certain people are living right now, that could be a major, and I mean major travel hazard for them. So who knows? But hopefully Athena could be showing up before the end of the year. I think she needs to be on the main roster like as of yesterday because she's a good worker in the ring and everywhere she's been. So hopefully that could work. But yeah, that Briscoe match, that might be the bathroom break. That might be the bathroom break because I'm tired of Jericho at this point. Really.
Yeah. I'm over that too. I do not know why. You know what? I can already see it. Jericho is going to be our generation Ric Flair.
Why
he doesn't know when to stop.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
Damn.
I am 100% over it. Jericho needs to let go of his ego. He's not Ethan Page. He needs to let go of his ego and be like, you know what? I would be more suited at mentoring people and helping them learn the way of being able to be successful in the professional wrestling world. Not someone taking TV time from younger talent that could potentially be getting opportunities.
Yeah.
And the whole tag and then I'm going to go on a tangent here. And the whole tag team division thing. I'm tired of seeing the damn Bucks, the middle-aged Bucks. The middle-aged Bucks need to quit. They need to give up the titles, lose them. Private Party is the perfect tag team for them to lose them to because they're the ones that have been fighting tooth and nail to be on TV. Let them win them. Let them realize they won them, but also we have to prove ourselves. So we will defend them, either weekly or every other week or something, just so they can build themselves as legitimate champions. The Bucks need to start disappearing.
Damn. You don't usually like.
They need to be Thanos right now.
Damn, Jesus. Tell me how you really feel.
And there ain't gonna be no in game here. They ain't gonna be going back in time, getting the stones and turning around and bringing them back. No, they need to disappear.
Damn.
Just like Jericho.
So you want Jericho gone? You want the Bucks gone? Oh, I'm sorry, the middle-aged Bucks, as you said.
The middle-aged Bucks, yeah. That would be like me trying to go out there and defend a damn title.
Well, I mean, you do give off. I told you before last week, Hurricane Helms is like, right-hand man there, with that whole getup you got going on there tonight. I mean, hey, back at you, man. Same thing. That's what you got going on there. I will agree with you with Jericho. Definitely with that. He's got to go. He's hanging on by a thread. But, I mean, Ric Flair still, he does his thing. But, yeah, Jericho's got to go. But as far as that tag match, a lot of people may not remember this, but when AEW first started and it was on TV, that tag team tournament, Private Party beat the Young Bucks in that opening round. A lot of people don't remember that. So
that's why I was saying,
if they play off of that, that could be probably one of the biggest upsets here. But I'm going to go on a limb right now. I'm picking Private Party to do the unthinkable Saturday night and beat the Young Bucks. I'm not going to say middle-aged Bucks. I'll save that for, that other tag team that's going to WWE in just a few weeks. The Motor City Muskets. All that.
You ain't shit for that one.
I'm saying, look, I'm sorry. I had to do this first, right? Is that what they do? Is that it right there? The Motor City Muskets? Yeah.
You ain't shit for that. And the only reason why they're getting that opportunity is because Tony Khan is being petty, which I fully expected. Mm-hmm. And he's tying up the Lucha Bros with time loss on their contracts and holding them for that.
And you know what? That's not even being petty. That's being a businessman. How many times has the former runner of WWE done that to professional wrestlers?
Hey, I'm not saying that it was wrong. I'm just saying that it was very common for it to happen. To be honest, I was surprised it didn't break sooner that was going to happen.
Yeah, because he finally looked through and he decided, you know what? I could be businesslike with this, and I'm going to add on your 90 days or 120 days or whatever it is to your injury. And let's be honest here. Lucha Brothers probably could have been gone a long time ago if it wasn't for Rey Fenix always getting injured. Let's not forget last Grand Slam against Moxley.
Uh-huh.
Not forget that. So I would like to see them do it. I think Private Party is probably going to pull off the unthinkable there. We are in agreement. Bobby Lashley will show up during that Swerve segment there. That is just signed, sealed, and delivered. Right? Oh, yeah. The only thing we don't know is just what plane he's taking to get to Tacoma, Washington. That's how.
Oh, he's private jet. What you talking about?
Yeah, that's true. He does have that nice little contract now. So
he got that. He got that money.
Big time money. The rest of the matches, I know on paper they just look regular. Like this could just be a souped up Dynamite. But I think all the matches will deliver in their own regard, except that Briscoe match. I'm sorry. I don't see that happening and being anything good. But Danielson Moxley will be good. I think we get a continuous storyline there. I do think we finally get the turn of Wheeler Yuta on Danielson in that matchup there. But Danielson will still keep that title. So that will be the thing. He keeps the title, but Wheeler now turns on him and continues that storyline for just a little bit longer. This is the problem now that we have with AEW. You only have, after this, Full Gear, and then their last pay-per-view at the end of the year. It's a little bit of a gap in between there, so we got to see how they're going to finish out with programming. But that's pretty much what we think of what's coming up now this Saturday. WrestleDream, of course, you can order it on pay-per-view. Of course, it's going to be on Bleacher Report, YouTube, Triller TV, any of those apps or regular cable satellite, you can order it there. It is $49.99. Definitely watch it. Last year's WrestleDream, we did get the debut of Adam Copeland, so it looks like they're keeping up the trend by having Bobby Lashley debut on WrestleDream. So.
And then we also have a comment here from Aaron King. There's also World's End. Yes, obviously we know World's End. World's End comes usually toward the end of the year, which we knew.
Right. Instead of being in New York as it was last year, it will now be in, I think, Orlando, Florida, Amway Center. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's where it will be to end AEW's year for 2024. So
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for the show tonight. Thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, you can always be here live talking with us on the show by joining in on the chat here on YouTube. But also tell a friend to tell a friend to tell the baby mama's cousin's uncle's friend that, put down the controller. You can play 2K24 a little bit later and 2K25. But definitely tune into us. You can interact with us live right here on YouTube. And of course, shout out to OT Subs, OTSubs.com. Get yourself 10% off from, of course, us here at the Revival Army. Get your shakers, all the drink supplements that you need to stay up. There's a lot of shit coming out. Pay-per-view, shows, TV shows returning, video games dropping every week. Like, it's a lot, and you need your energy. So OTSubs.com, 10% off by using the code Revival Army. You will thank us later. Trust me.
Most definitely.
So, any last words from the loser who had to clean out their locker today?
God damn.
I can't take this shit no more.
Yeah, so is your fans too. I mean, you do call it Minute Maid Park.
Oh, hold on. Hey, you didn't give us your weather update, sir.
And now here's Ollie Williams with the Blackie weather forecast. Ollie?
It's gonna rain!
Thanks, Ollie. Let's go live to Ollie Williams with the Blackie weather report. Ollie?
It's raining sideways!
Sounds rough, Ollie. Do you have an umbrella?
Had one!
Where is it?
Inside out, 2 miles away!
Is there anything we can do for you?
Bring me some soup!
What kind?
Chunky!
Get him. Oh, Green Jimmy the cricket suit wearing ass motherfucker. Get him. Oh, short Colin Powell haircut having ass motherfucker.
Get him.
Little
It don't matter, so what I got on my face, bitch? Oh, my God.
Relationship with your
Oh,
children.
my God.
So, I figured you'll be like this. I understand it. You're kind of like, just that movie from, Boys in the Hood. You're just swinging at everything right now. You're mad at the world. Your team didn't win. And you lost in like a minute, just like the name of your park. And I understand it. It's okay. It's all
But
right.
you know what, though?
You always have MLB the show. It's okay.
But there
It's
is a certain somebody. There is a certain somebody who may be a little...
I remember the days of just keeping time, of hanging around in Sleepy Town.
Not Sleepy Town. Jeez.
Sleepy Town. He is sleepy. He needs he needs the nights.
I guess he's the 12th man out there then, right?
Ooh. Not the 12th man.
Throwing out jabs like Deontay Wilder used to. But anyway.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I can get on the bronze bomb. I love you, man, but get your act together, bro. Get your act together.
Man, you know what? It's almost as bad as, the Cleveland Browns making the worst trade in modern NFL history for a dumbass they're probably going to cut loose at the end of the year.
We're going to have to speak on that in a couple of weeks. I'm trying to give out hope for Mr. Watson there, but
there is no hope. He went the way of Johnny Manziel. He went the way of freaking Ricky Williams when he preferred the pot over making the bread. He's just going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way, and his coach is so disappointed.
I will say this. Deshaun Watson has always played well when he has a good running back. I think that running back is coming back in a few weeks.
I don't know, man. If he has as many people on both ESPN and multiple other outlets saying he ain't shit, refer back to Mr. Stephen A. Smith from earlier this week, referring to who else was it? It was Stephen A. Smith. It was what's his face, the white dude that's always real big on how about them Cowboys? Rah, 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 rah. What's his name?
Dan Orlovsky.
Not Dan. Yes, he was too, but I'm talking about the other one. Skip Bayless.
Well, Skip Bayless got to do it now from his own home because no network wants him. Did I say that out loud? Did I say that?
No, you said the inside thing outside, and I'm okay with that. I'm here for that petty because that man ain't shit.
No, he always been like that. I'm just glad people caught on to the bullshit.
I'm glad Shannon Sharp is actually doing better than he is now.
But you know something? I'm looking at everybody that's joining in on the show tonight, and I see there, shout outs to Aaron King down there, and, shout outs to, Sleepless in Seattle. But notice how everybody here on the show who's either commented or talking here as the host, we all won our games this week. One person didn't. I think he's still sleeping in Seattle. I think that's what it is.
Oh,
just thought about that.
What the?
Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought he could beat a giant, but he's just a giant. Just.
Ouch.
Ouch. Just throwing these punches here, man. Shouts to Undisputed. Great game, man. It just got me just in a fighting mood,
man. And we're all out here like we just won a crap ton of money, and Mr. Sleepless over there is trying to hide in the corner hoping we leave him alone. But we're over here
hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Okay, wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Wrestling Revival Podcast. I am your host, Cyb3rYeti. That's DJ Notorious. We will see y'all next week. Make sure you keep an eye on social media. We'll update you on anything new in regards to wrestling between episodes. So we appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Oh,
and
one more thing I just forgot.
Jesus Christ.
I just remembered this, and we can go right after this.
Uh-huh.
Houston, y'all got a problem until March. Have a good night.
This is you right now.
Yo, this should be an Olympic.
I'm throwing your ass in the trash.